Hey, what's up everybody? I am Lizzy and welcome back to Lizzy's Book Corner. Sorry for not posting last week, but since it's Christmas time, everything is a little chaotic. Anyway, in this week's episode, I'm going to tell you all about another one of my favorite books from this year, Devoted Defender by Rachel Dillon. Just like I've been doing, I'm going to say the synopsis of the book and then go a little bit more in depth. So let's get into it. Personal chef Annie Thomas thought she'd finally found a safe haven from her past. But when her boss is shot in cold blood, leaving her as the only witness, she's forced to go on the run again. And this time, there is an even bigger target on her back. Navy SEAL turned small-town police chief Caleb Winters doesn't like that danger has come to Maxwell, Georgia, but he vows to protect the innocent woman seeking refuge from an organized crime network that he knows will stop at nothing to tie up loose ends. When hiding is no longer an option and threats surround them, will Caleb be the devoted defender Annie needs with her life on the line? This book is actually number 2 in a duology, but it can technically be read as a standalone, other than the fact that it does mention a few facts from the first book, but they do explain what happened a little bit. Anyway, Annie was working for a wealthy family as a chef because, like a lot of wealthy people, they throw a ton of parties. So they hired her as a chef for their get-togethers, but also to cook for the family from time to time. It was her day off, but she wanted to go to work that night because the next day she was going to be making a new dish for a huge party, and I think it had some people there that could potentially get her to a better job, so she was really nervous. When she walked in, she heard voices coming from the very back of the kitchen. She peeked around from behind a wall and she saw her boss, the wealthy man who was roughly in his late 60s to early 70s. They start arguing about money, this, and you owe me that. She thought about walking away, but she was afraid that they would hear her. So the next thing she knew, the younger guy pulled out a gun and shot Annie's boss. She gasped and the killer looked up and saw her. So she started running away, and right when she started to push open the door to go outside, the guy shot at her. She ducked and ran to her car. As she ran to her car, she kept pulling stuff to block the guy's path. When she got into it and started to drive away, the guy yelled after her that, "I saw your face, I will find you." She started just driving, she didn't care where, until she ended up in Maxwell, Georgia, where she was going way above the speed limit. Her heart was still pounding when Police Chief Caleb Winters pulled her over. He lets her go with a warning because she was new to town, but stresses to her to drive carefully. The next day, he goes to the local diner for lunch, only to discover that the woman he pulled over last night has decided to stay in town and has even taken over for the cook at the diner. He already had a weird feeling about her since they met. Something felt off, and since he's trusted his gut since he was a rookie in the SEALs, he begins trying to gain her trust. They become somewhat friends only when someone tries to kill Annie. Then she tells him everything about that terrible night. After some research, he finds out that she just witnessed a crime by one of the worst crime gangs in the state. I really hope you all enjoy this book. Trust me, I wish Rachel Dillon would write more in this series because they are so good. I love Maxwell, Georgia. I love the whole setting there for the suspense of it all. It is so good. I love it so much. If y'all enjoyed this podcast, then be sure to leave a like, comment on what you think of this book, or if you haven't already, what your favorite part was. Mine would have to be the part where Annie is in the diner alone and someone comes in. I'm not going to say anymore. Next week, I'm talking to you all about the self-publishing websites for you aspiring indie authors. And be sure to subscribe to support me. That always helps me out. You can find me on TikTok. Links in the description. I hope you all have a great day, and I will talk to you again next week. Bye, everybody.